Welcome back to Science for Sleep, where we explore the deepest mysteries of the brain, consciousness, and reality itself in a calm, immersive way designed to help your body rest while your mind gently expands. If you enjoy drifting into sleep while discovering the hidden mechanisms shaping your experience of life, consider subscribing and allow yourself now to settle in, breathe slowly, and listen. Because tonight we explore something deeply personal, something that lives inside you, something you trust completely, your memory. Right now you carry thousands of memories, memories of your childhood, memories of conversations, memories of places, moments that feel solid, moments that feel certain, moments that feel real. But what if some of them never actually happened the way you remember? Not because you are broken, not because you are weak, but because your brain quietly changed them, on purpose, to protect you. To understand why, we must begin with something surprising. Your brain does not store memories like a video recording. It does not capture perfect snapshots of reality. Instead, your brain reconstructs memories. Every time you remember something, your brain rebuilds it, not from a single stored file, but from pieces, fragments of sensory information, emotions, meanings, expectations. Your memory is not replayed, it is recreated. This means every memory is, in some sense, a new event, built again in the present. Now pause here, because this changes everything. It means your memory is not fixed. It is dynamic, flexible, alive, and vulnerable to change. This process is called reconsolidation. When you recall a memory, it briefly becomes unstable, editable, and when it is stored again, it can be altered, not intentionally, but naturally. Now let us go deeper, because memory exists for a purpose, not to preserve the past perfectly, but to help you survive the future. Memory allows your brain to predict, to guide decisions, to protect your sense of self. And this is where something extraordinary happens. Your brain prioritizes coherence over accuracy. It prioritizes a stable identity, a consistent story of who you are, even if that story is not perfectly true, because your identity depends on continuity. You believe you are the same person you were yesterday, and memory creates that continuity. Without memory, your identity dissolves. Now let us explore the science. One of the most important figures in memory research is Elizabeth Loftus. Her experiments revealed something shocking. Human memory can be altered easily. In controlled studies, participants were shown videos of events. Later they were asked questions, but the questions included subtle changes. For example, instead of asking, "How fast were the cars going when they hit each other?" they asked, "How fast were the cars going when they smashed into each other?" That single word, smash, changed memory. Participants remembered higher speeds, broken glass, details that were never present. Their brains filled in information, not randomly, but meaningfully, to match the suggestion. This is called the misinformation effect. Memory becomes shaped by interpretation, not just experience. Now let us move deeper, because false memories can be far more dramatic. In some experiments, participants were convinced they had been lost in a shopping mall as children. They described details, emotions, sensations, even though it never happened. Their brains constructed memories to match the suggestion, not because they were lying, but because their brain made it feel real. Now imagine what this means. Your brain does not only store memories, it builds them. And sometimes, it builds memories that never truly occurred. Now let us address the deeper question. Why would the brain do this? Why risk inaccuracy? The answer lies in protection. Your brain protects your mental identity. Your identity depends on believing a consistent story about yourself. A story in which your actions make sense, your choices make sense, your life has continuity. When events threaten that story, your brain may adjust memory, not to deceive you, but to preserve stability. This process is subtle, often unconscious. You do not feel it happening, Now consider something simple. When you remember an argument, you may remember yourself as more reasonable, more calm, less responsible for conflict. This is called self-serving bias. Your brain adjusts memory to protect your self-image. Not completely, but slightly, enough to preserve identity. Now we move deeper still, because emotional memories are especially vulnerable. Traumatic memories may be suppressed, blurred, altered, to reduce psychological pain. This is not weakness, it is adaptation. Your brain balances accuracy with emotional survival. Now pause here, because something important becomes clear. Your memory is not a perfect record. It is a protective system. A system designed not just to preserve the past, but to preserve you. And so we continue moving deeper now into the quiet, hidden process through which your brain reshapes your memories, not while you are awake, but while you sleep. Because sleep is not simply rest. Sleep is reconstruction. Every night, as your body becomes still, your brain becomes active in a very specific way. It begins organizing your experiences, sorting them, strengthening some, weakening others, and sometimes changing them. To understand why, we must explore one of the most important structures inside your brain. A small, curved region located deep within your temporal lobe, the hippocampus. The hippocampus acts as a kind of temporary memory organizer. During the day, it collects experiences, moments, events, fragments of your life. But these memories are not yet permanent. They are fragile, incomplete. At night, during sleep, especially during deep sleep and REM sleep, the hippocampus begins transferring those memories, replaying them, sending them to the cortex, the outer layer of your brain, where long-term memories are stored. This process is called memory consolidation. But consolidation is not simple copying. It is transformation. Your brain does not move memories unchanged. It reshapes them. It integrates them with older memories, older beliefs, older emotions. This is where distortion can occur, because your brain is not preserving raw experience. It is preserving meaning. Meaning is more useful than perfect detail. Meaning helps guide future behavior. Meaning protects identity. Now imagine this process happening every night. Your brain revisiting your past, rebuilding it, quietly, without your awareness. This means your memories evolve over time. Not dramatically, but gradually. Now let us explore something even more subtle. Because your brain also removes information. It forgets intentionally. This process is not failure. It is necessary. Your brain cannot store everything. It must prioritize. Keeps what is useful. It discards what is unnecessary. But sometimes in removing details, your brain fills gaps. Not randomly, but logically. It completes the story. This process can create false memories. Not invented entirely, but constructed from fragments. Now consider dreams. During REM sleep, your brain activates emotional and memory regions intensely. Dreams combine past experiences, fragments, emotions, images, in unusual ways. Some scientists believe dreams help your brain test scenarios, simulate possibilities, process emotional conflicts, and in doing so, dreams can influence memory. Elements from dreams can blend into waking memory, especially if they feel vivid. This blurring between dream and memory can create uncertainty, but usually your brain maintains distinction. Usually. Now let us go deeper still. Because memory does more than record your life. Memory creates your identity. Your sense of self depends on remembering who you have been. Your personality depends on continuity. Without memory, identity fragments. This becomes clear in neurological conditions. For example, individuals with severe amnesia lose the ability to form new memories. One famous case was Henry Molaison, known for decades as patient HM. After surgery damaged his hippocampus, he could no longer form new long-term memories. He lived in a permanent present. Every conversation felt new. Every moment unfamiliar. His intelligence remained. His personality remained. But his continuity disappeared. This revealed something profound. Memory is the thread connecting your past to your present. Without it, the sense of a continuous self dissolves. Now imagine the importance of protecting that continuity. Your brain works constantly to preserve a stable identity, to maintain the story of you, even if small adjustments are required. Now let us address something deeply human: emotional protection. When experiences threaten your sense of self, your brain may soften them, reinterpret them, reduce their emotional intensity. This allows you to move forward, to continue functioning. This is not deception. It is resilience. Now consider childhood memories. Many early memories are incomplete. Your brain reconstructs them later, based on fragments, based on stories told by others, based on photographs. Your brain fills gaps. This can create memories that feel real, but are partly constructed. This does not mean your entire past is false. It means memory is creative. Now pause here, because something important becomes clear. Your memory is not designed to preserve truth perfectly. It is designed to preserve you, your stability, your identity, your ability to function. Now we move towards something even deeper, because scientists now understand that memory is not located in one place. It exists as patterns across networks, distributed, dynamic, changing. This makes memory powerful, but also flexible. We continue, moving now into one of the most unsettling and fascinating discoveries in modern neuroscience: the realization that your brain can create entirely false memories, not by accident, but as part of its normal function. Not because something has gone wrong, but because something is working exactly as it was designed to work. To understand this, imagine for a moment that your brain is not an archive, not a vault storing perfect records, but a storyteller. A storyteller whose primary goal is not to document every detail of reality, but to create a story that makes sense, a story that allows you to function, a story that allows you to remain whole. Because your identity is not just based on what happened, it is based on what you believe happened. Now let us explore how easily this process can occur. In carefully controlled experiments, researchers were able to implant entirely false memories into participants' minds. Not traumatic memories, not extreme ones, but ordinary ones. Memories of spilling a drink, memories of being lost, memories of events that never occurred. Participants did not merely agree that these events happened. They remembered them. They described them. They felt emotions connected to them. Their brains filled in sensory details, smells, sounds, feelings. The memory felt real, because to the brain it was real. It existed as a pattern of neural activity, and the brain responds to neural patterns, not historical truth. Now pause here, because this reveals something profound. Your brain cannot directly distinguish between a real memory and a false one. If both exist as similar neural patterns, what matters to the brain is coherence, consistency, integration into your identity. Now let us go deeper, because false memories often emerge when your brain attempts to resolve conflict. Conflict between events and identity. Your brain maintains a model of who you are, a stable sense of self. When new experiences contradict that model, your brain may reinterpret memory, not consciously, but automatically. For example, imagine you see yourself as a kind person. If you act in a way that harms someone, your brain may later soften that memory, emphasize your justification, reduce your responsibility, not to deceive you, but to preserve your self-model. This process is called cognitive dissonance reduction. Your brain reduces psychological conflict by adjusting interpretation, by adjusting memory. Now let us explore the neural mechanism. Memories exist as networks of neurons. When you recall a memory, those networks reactivate. But during reactivation, they become flexible, open to modification. This flexibility allows learning, allows updating, allows adaptation, but it also allows distortion. When the memory is stored again, it may not be identical. Now imagine this happening repeatedly over years, each recall slightly reshaping the memory, gradually, subtly, until the original experience becomes only one layer among many reconstructions. Now we must address something important. This does not mean your memory is unreliable in a simple sense. Your memory is reliable in preserving meaning. Meaning is what guides behavior. Meaning is what protects identity. Meaning is what allows continuity. But details are negotiable. Now let us explore something even deeper. Because your brain not only protects your past identity, it protects your future identity. Your brain maintains beliefs about who you are becoming, your goals, your values, your direction. Memories inconsistent with that direction may weaken over time, not erased, but less accessible, less dominant. This allows your identity to evolve, to grow, to adapt. Now consider something extraordinary. Your sense of self exists as a model inside your brain, not a fixed entity, but a dynamic representation. A representation continuously updated, continuously maintained. Memory supports that representation. Memory stabilizes that representation. But memory also adjusts to preserve it. Now pause here, because this leads to one of the deepest realizations in neuroscience. Your identity is not a static object. It is a process maintained by memory. And memory is flexible. Now let us move towards something calming, because this flexibility is not a flaw. It is a strength. It allows healing. It allows emotional recovery. It allows you to move beyond pain, to integrate difficult experiences, to continue forward. Your brain protects you, not by preserving every detail perfectly, but by preserving your ability to remain yourself. Now imagine drifting into sleep tonight, as your brain quietly reviews your day, strengthening memories, softening others, adjusting your internal story, not to deceive you, but to protect you, to stabilize you, to allow you to wake tomorrow, still feeling like yourself. Continue drifting now into one of the most unsettling truths ever discovered about the human mind, the realization that confidence does not guarantee accuracy, that you can feel completely certain about a memory and still be wrong, not slightly wrong, but entirely wrong. This discovery emerged from decades of research into eyewitness testimony, situations where people witnessed real events, crimes, accidents, moments of intense emotional importance, and later those witnesses were asked to recall what they had seen. They spoke with confidence. They described faces, actions, details. They believed what they said. But when their memories were compared with objective evidence, many were incorrect, not because they intended to mislead, but because their brains had reconstructed the event, adding, removing, adjusting, creating a memory that felt true, but was not fully accurate. This revealed something deeply important. The feeling of certainty is created by your brain. It is not proof of truth. Certainty is an emotional signal, not a factual guarantee. Now pause here, because this challenges something fundamental. You trust your memories because they feel real, because they feel vivid, because they feel certain. But vividness and certainty are not evidence. They are experiences. Now let us explore why certainty exists at all. Your brain evolved to help you act, to make decisions quickly, to respond to danger. Hesitation could mean death. Certainty allows action. Certainty allows commitment. Certainty stabilizes identity. If your brain constantly doubted itself, you could not function effectively. So your brain generates the feeling of certainty, even when memories are imperfect. Now let us move deeper into the biology. Memory involves multiple brain regions. The hippocampus helps organize memory. The amygdala adds emotional intensity. The cortex stores long-term patterns. When emotional intensity is high, the amygdala strengthens memory encoding. This is why emotional memories feel vivid. But emotional intensity does not guarantee accuracy. It strengthens confidence, not precision. Now imagine something subtle. When you recall an emotional event, you recall not only the event, but your last memory of recalling it, and your last memory of recalling that. Layers upon layers. Each recall shaping the next. Each recall reinforcing certainty, even if details shift. Now let us explore something known as source confusion. Sometimes your brain remembers information, but forgets where it came from. You may remember a story, but forget whether you experienced it, or heard it, or imagined it. Over time, the memory feels like your own experience, because its source has dissolved. This happens naturally, frequently, quietly. Now consider childhood. Your earliest years contain few clear memories. Your brain was still developing. Your sense of identity was forming. Later, your brain fills those early years with fragments. Stories told by family, photographs, emotions. Your brain integrates these into memory, creating a coherent narrative, the story of your life. Now let us explore something even deeper. Because memory is not designed to preserve objective reality. It is designed to preserve subjective reality. Your reality. The reality that allows you to function, to understand yourself, to navigate your world. This is why two people can experience the same event and remember it differently. Each brain constructs its own version, based on perspective, emotion, meaning, identity. Both memories feel real. Both memories feel true, because both serve the individual. Now pause here, because this leads to something profound. Your brain is not trying to deceive you. Your brain is trying to protect you. Protect your stability. Protect your continuity. Protect your identity. Now imagine something calming. As you drift towards sleep tonight, your brain will continue this process, quietly, gently, reviewing your day, integrating your experiences, strengthening your internal story, allowing you to wake tomorrow, still feeling like yourself, still feeling continuous, still feeling whole. And now we come to the final part of this journey. The quiet realization that the imperfections in your memory are not signs of failure. They are signs of protection. They are signs of adaptation. They are signs that your brain is doing something deeply important, preserving you. Because at its core, your brain has one primary goal: not to record reality perfectly, but to allow you to exist within it, to function, to continue, to remain whole. Memory is not designed to serve the past. Memory is designed to serve the present and the future. Your brain uses memory to build a model of who you are, a model that must remain stable enough to guide your decisions, your relationships, your sense of meaning. Without that stability, you would feel lost, fragmented, disconnected from yourself. And so your brain maintains continuity. It maintains identity, even if small adjustments are necessary. Now let us return to something simple. Think of your life as a story. Not a story written in ink, but a story written in water. Always moving, always shifting, always reforming, and yet, still recognizable, still yours. Each memory is part of that story. Not perfect, not fixed, but meaningful. Now let us explore something deeply comforting. Even when memories change, they do not erase you. They are part of how you heal, part of how you grow, part of how you move forward. Painful experiences can soften over time. Sharp edges become smoother. Emotional weight becomes lighter. This is not forgetting. This is integration. Your brain allowing you to continue living without being trapped by the past. Now imagine if memory were perfectly accurate. Every embarrassment, every mistake, every painful moment, preserved with perfect clarity, never softening, never fading. You would carry enormous weight. Your brain protects you by allowing change. by allowing adaptation, by allowing emotional balance. Now pause here, because this reveals something profound. False memories are not lies. They are interpretations. They are your brain's way of maintaining a livable reality, a survivable reality, an identity that can continue. Now let us go deeper still. Your identity exists not as a fixed object, but as an ongoing process, a process maintained by memory, by interpretation, by continuity. You are not the same person you were years ago. Your brain has updated your story, refined it, adjusted it, allowed you to grow, and yet, you still feel like yourself. This continuity is the gift of memory, not perfect accuracy, but stable identity. Now imagine drifting outward, beyond individual memories, beyond individual experiences, towards something quieter, the simple fact of awareness itself. Right now you are aware of your thoughts, aware of your body, aware of your existence. This awareness exists in the present moment. Memory supports it, identity supports it, but awareness itself exists now, in this moment. As you prepare to sleep, your brain will continue its quiet work, organizing, integrating, protecting, allowing you to wake tomorrow, still feeling like yourself, still feeling continuous, still feeling whole, and perhaps now with a deeper understanding, a deeper appreciation for the silent work your brain performs every night. You do not need to remember everything perfectly. You only need to remain you. Your brain will protect that, quietly, faithfully, gently. Thank you for joining Science for Sleep. Rest now, and allow yourself to drift peacefully into the quiet protection of your own mind. Good night.